The title of this video may seem like it's a clickbait, but it's not. There's a greater meaning behind it. So this applies not only in the things that you want to say as a person. It applies to business. It applies to interpersonal relationship. It applies to professional life. Basically, you're not calling for people's attention. And in terms of marketing and copywriting, it's called a hook. And it's something I teach a lot to my business coaching students. But why is the hook so important? Well, the motivation for this video is actually kind of a merging of a bunch of things, right? So I have a relationships course, and now I do, as you can see in this YouTube channel, I upload a lot of videos. And in here, in YouTube, I make the deliberate attempt to not grab as much attention because I've talked about it in the previous videos. I have an aversion to going viral. So same with Instagram. When I post stuff, I don't really like do it with a conscious mind of I need to get people's attention on this. But when it comes to my business, when it comes to my emails, I try to do a good job of catching your attention first and then giving you the value inside the content. But I see from my business coaching students, sometimes like every once in a while, they have this really great content, but it's not catching people's eyes, so the exposure is really low. And in the interpersonal relationships thing, I have clients who feel very lonely. But at the same time, like I talk to them every week, so I know their human being self is really great. But at the same time, they're not really going out into the world and kind of engaging with people to draw attention to themselves. When it comes to promotions and when I work with people who are colleagues or like ex-colleagues, I know that these are really great people who are really great at their job. But the thing is, they don't really talk to their managers. They don't really talk to the VPs or the SVPs. They don't really catch their attention and make the case for themselves. Therefore, when it comes time to do the evaluations, when it comes time to do the promotions and such, they're seldom selected, and that becomes kind of a big pain point in their professional life as well, right? So across so many ranges of human experience, what's really important is if you want something, you have to get their attention. And now, what are the ways to do that? In business, you write a good hook. So the title of this video is kind of like a hook, right? And it's commonly known as clickbait. And in business, you draw attention to your material called copy using hooks. In terms of interpersonal relationships, like you catch attention by having an attractive pickup line. I don't know. I'm not a modern person who dates because I'm already married, but like Tinder profiles and all these different apps, they have like a one line of where you can kind of show your personality, right? Like you could be the most like greatest person in the world, but the thing is, if your profile page is kind of bland, you're not gonna get a lot of eyes on you. It's just we'll talk about why in a second. And then when it comes time to do in your career in your professional life, you want to talk to the right people and request one-on-ones like proactively and meet with your managers, meet with your VPs, meet with your SVPs. Be prepared to like talk about the great work you do because now you have their attention, right? Well, so we all know that getting attention is the first step. If you really think about it, all the things that you bought from ads, you bought because the ad somehow caught your attention, right? But when it comes time to actually do this for yourself, why is it so hard? Why is there such an aversion to drawing attention to yourself? I could offer you some specific reasons why we have an aversion to drawing attention to ourselves. For example, like evolutionaries, from the perspective of evolution, it feels bad to kind of draw attention to yourselves because like you have more eyes on you, so um, your tribe may feel like something's off with you, and then they may excommunicate you. Or if you're a prey, then predators may draw more attention to you and such, right? So we have those things, and then the typical like car salesman kind of a thing that everybody kind of hates. So there are all these different reasons why we don't like drawing attention to ourselves. But at the same time, in order to get the things we want, sometimes like we need to, use the power of other people and other resources around us. So, as always, in my video, I advocate you stop being in the middle, right? So, if you want to get things done with the resources and help of other people, then you have to draw attention to yourself. If it's too uncomfortable for you, hey, guess what? Like, there's more than one way to do anything, right? So maybe you don't need to um, get other people's help and resources. Maybe you can take care of the whole thing on your own. But the thing is, then if you want to draw attention to yourself, then you have to either commit to drawing attention to yourself or recognize like what you find difficult about it and overcome each one of those one by one. But what like the tip I want to provide to you is that again, I said this in the bullying video, but no, not the bullying video, like the friendship video, but I mentioned this in the friendship video, but 90% of human interactions actually are transactional, regardless of what we think. We don't typically like to think we are noble. We typically like to think that we are selfless and we're good, and we like to we like to be recognized as such. But the thing is, from other people's perspective, you're also calculative and transactional too, right? Same way you can think about another person like that, that same applies for you. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. If I go to a store to buy a cup of coffee and I give them money, I get coffee. It's just how it works, right? I don't think that coffee guy is only doing it for the money, right? Because guess what? They really are. So, in the grand scheme of things, you wanting things from other people is there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Moreover, what you do, like your intent, as long as you're clear on intent and you follow through on your action. So, for example, I make this video because, like, I want people to watch it, right? I want some people to watch it. And that's up to me. I want to teach my viewers about, what attention does and, why we need it and what to think about. I want to present this information to you. Therefore, I'm making it. But now, what happens as a result of this video in your mind, what you do with this information, what all the other people who view this video, what they do with this information is out of my hands. I have to accept that and kind of take that for what it is because that's how things work 100% of the time. I love my wife and I do my best to make her happy and love her. And now whether she thinks she's feeling loved is up to her. And so when my wife is like, I don't really, well, it's all hypothetical, by the way. When my wife tells me, I don't really feel loved, you don't spend time with me. But then I think, whoa, but I do. I spend all the time with you. How can you tell me? Like, the more I focus on that, the more I'm focusing on the wrong thing. Like, I'm doing my best. She's communicating that she is not feeling loved. And so it's her thing. So I have to respect that. And I talk about this concept a lot in depth in my video on apologies, how to apologize properly. But to summarize, if you want to get things done, especially with the help of other people, you need to call attention to yourself. This is called a hook in marketing, and in interpersonal relationships, it's a nice profile page for your app, whether it be a social media app or a dating app. And in business, it's you requesting FaceTime with people. Like you make that happen, and then people can recognize what a great person you are. Or they might recognize you as like, oh, this person sucks. But then the thing is, it's up to them. They're seeing a version of you inside of their head and it has nothing to do with you. So as long as your intent is clear, why do you need other people? Why do you want it? And as long as you're clear on this and you're doing what you're doing, good. What happens is just what happens. What's important is you stick to it. I have a YouTube channel. I would like for a lot of people to watch it, but I would also like for a lot of people to watch it with good feedback, right? I don't want haters. But the thing is, I do get haters. And I do get the algorithm. I do get a lot of like people who are angry with my content. But the thing is, yeah, um, I can't prevent that from happening. But am I gonna let that stop me? No, that's why I keep making videos, right? And I'm hoping you can apply the same logic to your life.